Time for another smoking update. Just a disclaimer, I don't recommend smoking. Okay, so the last video I made was called Mullein, Smoking Mullein. I'll be reviewing that again. What I did was followed some advice that I got in the comment section about something called burping. You put the smokables in a container. In this case, this is mullein leaves, Mullein, mullein, and then you let it burp once in a while. You take the lid off or you open the bag or whatever. I'm using a bag because that's what I've got. And after a while, they say it, quote unquote, cures, right? So I've been doing that with a batch. I don't have that much right now left. I sent off some to a friend of mine. I spotted a patch of mullein by the roadside not far from here. So I'm going to collect a bunch of plants and process those according to the comments in the comment section. Some people say don't wash it. Some people say they can't imagine using any kind of soap to wash it. Like I mentioned, I use dishwashing liquid to wash the mullein leaves because they're very, very dusty, especially around here. And those that are by the roadside are going to be dusty too. It's dusty back here in the spot where the mullein grows because there's a bare patch of ground. It grows right underneath some lilac trees, this mullein that I've got. But the ground is just a bare patch right around the mullein. So when it rains, the dust gets up on the leaves and stuff. Splashes or something. Anyway, I'm going to wash and not wash and do different preparations. Some people say wash first before you take out the veins. I don't know if it matters. Some say it's best to blend the mullein with something else. Don't smoke it straight. And also make sure it's cured. Okay, well, I'm going to try all these methods. Why am I going to try this? Why am I going to go into it? Well, it has medicinal value. And it is a plant from Europe. It goes way back as a smokable. Probably not with a pipe because that's Native American stuff, but probably with incense or some sort of, burner so you can inhale the smoke. You can also make a tea, I've heard. And the seeds of the mullein plant can be ground up or something, separated from the husks because it has husks, right? And then added to water to stun fish so you can catch them more easily. I would assume that you have to put the mullein seeds in a shallow area, chase the fish into a shallow area of the stream or whatever, or a pond, and then dump the seeds in so you're not diluting the effect, so to speak. Anyway, mullein is a European transplant to the New World. So Native Americans, yes, they used mullein, but pretty much in the same way that Europeans used to use it. I think Native Americans learned quickly that you could smoke it because there's a long tradition of smoking in the Americas. Okay, it goes way back. It goes further back than in Europe with pipes. Okay, pipe smoking in Europe only goes back to the 17th century or something like that. Anyway, I keep saying anyway. I'm trying to get to the point. That's why. Why am I doing this? I've heard that smoking mullein creates or stimulates mucus so that you can cough out whatever junk you've got in your lungs. Or it can also help to open the passageways if you have asthma, that sort of thing. I'm not sure exactly what to believe. You can Google it. I've got many responses from, I've gotten many cut and paste responses from people who've searched Google, and they cut and paste into the comments section. So, I know I've Googled it too, so I know those cut and paste responses. And I get a lot of responses that this has helped people firsthand knowledge as well. I tend to believe the firsthand accounts and the so-called anecdotal accounts more than the Google searches and responses. So the moral of the story is I'm going to explore this as a way maybe to help prevent silicosis from flint knapping. It's controversial probably to try to do this. I've heard that silicosis is aggravated if you're a smoker of anything. If you smoke, whatever you're smoking, it aggravates and causes the silicosis to get worse, not better. But who knows? Creating more of a mucus flow may actually help. Okay. So that's my excuse. Other than just it's a fun hobby. I've been smoking pipes on and off for like 20 years or so. I didn't start till I was in my 40s or something, as a way to relax, because I learned over time that having children and finances and all that kind of stuff and the job site and the jobs get more and more stressful as time goes by. So you need some kind of relaxation hobby. Right? Now I do not smoke the funny stuff. I don't want to mention the name. I don't want to make fun of people either, but I don't smoke the funny weed. I'm doing only things like the Silky Dogwood, the Mullein, and now I was recommended grape leaves. All right, I'm going to change the subject a little bit now. These are grape leaves from my backyard, back here. This goes up, there's a hill back here. There's a bunch of stuff up there. There's grape, there's Virginia creeper, there's celandine, there's all kinds of, there's black raspberries, there's irises, and I mean there's a ton of different plants up there. I'm going to start cultivating different plants in this area back here, because right now it's just wild. Okay, so but anyway, some of my grape looks like this. Something's attacking it. But I hesitate to put pesticides on anything. And I know that someone's going to Google this and recommend a non-toxic or natural pesticide to help prevent this, whatever is chewing on this. Okay? Anyway, most of the leaves are like this. All right, this is grape. This is a wild grape. I think they call it a riverside grape or some kind of wild river grape or something like that. This type. There's many different types of grapes, of course. Now, the moral of that story is I dried some of these leaves and tried smoking them a week or so ago. And it wasn't bad. The only part that I don't like is the bitterness. I'm very sensitive to bitterness. I can't stand bitter. I can taste bitter where other people can't taste bitter things. Like I could share like a cup of coffee with a friend, and I'll think the coffee is extremely bitter, and that my friend will say, "No, it's not bitter at all." The same with my kids. Some of my daughters love drinking coffee, but some of their coffee is way too bitter for me, and that sort of thing. So the grape leaves were bitter for me. Now, do I need to cure these also? Probably, right? Who knows? What was interesting to me the most with the grape leaves is that it tasted very similar to a tobacco. Even when it's not cured, it has that earthy taste, and it has that bitterness which tobacco does also, to a certain extent. It's not bad. Well, I've only smoked cured tobacco. Now I'm going to be planting tobacco of different varieties back here too. Mostly the wild type. I forget the name already. I should have written down the names, but it probably doesn't matter. Everyone's going to be Googling what the types names are anyway. There are different kinds of tobaccos that are native to the Americas. Okay, and there's a type of tobacco that's common in the north west that I'll be planting back here too. I bought some seeds, but they got delivered to my old address instead of my new address, so I'm going to get some more. And the growing season is short here, so I'll have to wait till next year. Anyway, I am going to do the tobacco thing also, but I'm going to run through a bunch of different plants that have been known to be smoked. And again, it's for me, it's relaxation. However, there are some things like the mullein that have supposedly a medicinal effect. Okay. So after burping this stuff for a little while, I think it's been about 2 weeks or something, I'm going to try it. The wind is picking up here, so hold on. I'm losing it. I'm losing the mullein. It's flying away. Before we get to that, what about the pipes? Yeah, this one is mesquite. The pipe stem is 2 pieces, but it's not like you think. It's not top half and lower half or side to side. I cut a strip out of the main piece and then inserted a filler strip, and the hole is a square. See that? I make this subconscious face when I'm trying to look in the viewfinder. So, sorry about that. I laugh at my other videos because I'm like, I make this weird face. Anyway, see that square hole? Interesting, right? I think it's interesting. Anyway, that's how I make the stem for this. I've watched other videos on how to make pipe stems, and they end up being like thick, gigantic stems. The diameter on the stem for the mouthpiece, I don't like that large at all. So this one is 3/16 or let's see. It's like, yeah, 5mm on this one. This doesn't matter down here, but it's like 5mm here on that one. This one is the same, 5mm, okay, or 3/16. I don't like the mouthpiece to be any thicker than that. Okay, and this one is river cane, so it's round. But it does have a slight flat spot at the bottom. Okay, some cane is more round than others. You get Tonkin cane, it works a lot better than this, I think, as almost a perfectly round hole. River cane can have a flat spot on the cane itself, which translates to a flat spot down here. It doesn't really matter all that much unless you're drilling. Then it kind of matters because you can get real thin if you don't drill it right on one side. Or you can just pick cane. I think hill cane is more round than the river cane, but some is actually pretty round. If you can find the roundest cane possible. Excuse me. Now, what about constructing of the pipes? The way I like to make my pipes is with a 3/4 inch hole, about 1 inch deep. This one is not 1 inch deep. Let's see what this one is. It's 3/4. This is 3/4 by 3/4, although the bottom is a bit rounded. Okay, the bottom is a bit rounded. What I do when I drill these out is I use a spade bit, but you know how a spade bit has a point on it? Well, I don't go drill all the way down in. I just start it halfway with a spade bit. You can Google it. And then I take a round rasp that you can insert to the end of a drill. You can Google that too. It's a round rasp and it has a round tip on it, and you just kind of rasp out the bottom of it, right? 2 drill attachments. I was going to set up all those tools and stuff, but I think you know what I'm talking about. Okay, and same with this spade bit. This is maple. This is mesquite. I think I mentioned that. I also carved runes in this one. This is an older one. This is my new one. It's maple. It's thicker. The walls are thicker because the these tobaccos or these smokables get very hot. I notice it's getting very hot when I use my thin-walled mesquite pipe. Luckily, it hasn't cracked. I worry that it'll crack if it gets too hot because it's very humid here. And that, you know, if you change the humidity really fast on wood, it'll crack. So, and I also like to make them with flat bottoms so that when I set them down, they don't tip over. Okay? I set them down, they're like weebles. They wobble, but they don't fall down. Okay? They're like weebles. Now that one, I need to put a better flat spot on it. But this one is pretty stable. This is the way I like to make the pipes. Okay? You can pretty much see the basic bowl design. Straight stem on this one. I think I'll make another one with a bend in it or a curve in it. More like a hobbit pipe with a long stem and a curve, okay? I think that'll be fun. Now this particular piece of cane is starting to split right there. So I may try to find a cane that has a thicker part down here. Okay? That way it'll be less likely to split. I think it's split because of the tightness of the fit. I was smoking this morning. All right, so anyway, I think I broke it. What is the diameter of that hole? Funny you should ask. This is I use this drill bit. It's 7/32. But I think on the next one it'll be a 1/4 inch. Right, so it'll be a little bit thicker so it won't break when I do this. This is how I would clean it. This one does not come out. Now, what glue did I use on this? I think I used fish glue, actually, or hide glue. I'm not using PVA glue or a modern glue on this. It doesn't make any sense to me to use a modern glue that might have toxins in it to glue the pipe. So either no glue at all, this has no glue at all, or I'm going to use a natural glue like Elmer's school glue or hide glue or fish glue that doesn't have additives. Maybe even some sort of tree resin. Why would I use that? Just to keep it from leaking, because it does leak, and you know, it does ooze the tar. I mean, I can stain this with a natural stain so that when the tar oozes out, it doesn't look like it's messed up, so to speak. Okay. This one, you know, was there some oozing on this one? Actually, this was pretty good. Yeah, I don't see any problem with it. It was a very tight fit, looks like. So the next time I'm going to do this will be with a little bit thicker stem down here, but up here it's going to be the same 3/16 or 4 millimeters. And I prefer a very thin stem itself because it cools it. I think it cools the smoke better when you've got thin stem. The heat dissipates quickly. It doesn't hold in the heat, or doesn't insulate your smoke when you're smoking. I've seen many videos on how to make pipe stems, and they're all way too thick for my taste, so to speak. Okay. So yeah, even though this has a crack in it and it is not working correctly. Oops. Well, there goes that. I just broke that too. The crack went all the way up. I was going to try Mullein in this again. Well, let's see. Can I improvise? I can improvise. Yeah, let's do that. Yeah, I don't want to stop the video. One more thing about using river cane is the node itself needs to be drilled out if you want a long stem. Now, if you look at river cane, the node is a little bit off center. It causes the next piece to be off center. You got to straighten it to bring these hollows into alignment before you drill. So, you know, you bend it this way first to straighten that side of the node, and then you bend it back up on the other side to straighten it. So you have a straight hollow that's aligned on both sides, if you know what I mean. And then you can drill it out without worrying about getting too close to the edge and maybe cracking it or having a weakness in it that will crack later. Okay. Just in case you're curious, maybe if I smoke some, I'll get rid of that. I don't know. Some of this is funny. Some people are funny. I get funny comments. It makes me laugh. But I think it's a fun hobby. I just don't like smoking tobacco anymore. I tried some tobacco lately, and it just gets my throat inflamed right here. That's all I need, is to have inflammation in my throat. Then I really have trouble talking. Okay. Oh yeah. What is this? Before I actually get to the whole point of the video, I'm going to delay it again. Did I lose all the crybabies yet? This is my ashtray. So that's how I store my pipe. And this is a straight pipe. I will not get into it in this video. I got another video of straight pipe and a lighter. A lot of times when I stop smoking, this is not fully extinguished, so I put it in the cup. I got this cup at a discount store. Yeah, it's like $2. I got lucky because I can't find these anymore. Anyway, that's my ashtray. And I use that for my cigars too when I was smoking cigars. Anyway, here we go. Let's see. Yeah, I pack it in pretty tight and it still draws pretty well. With tobacco, when you pack it in real tight, it doesn't draw at all. You've got to poke a hole in there or loosen it up. Okay. I'm doing this for taste this time to see if the burping had any effect. I don't know. Smells and tastes like silly old Mullein. Someone told me, if you smoke it green, dude, you're smoking the chlorophyll. Yeah, well, where does the chlorophyll go? Stays in there, it might turn brown, but it's still chlorophyll, right? Or what? I don't know. It's chlorophyll oxide or something? Probably still tastes like doo-doo. Oh gosh, I don't know. You know what? It does taste a little different. Yeah, I gotta admit. Hmm. Can you still see what I can't, okay, hold on. This won't stay lit. Yeah, pretty much the same. And I gotta find a way to prevent those little crumblies from getting up in the pipe stem and into my mouth. I think what I'll do is when I take the pipe stem out, I'll stuff a little bit of organic cotton in there just to prevent those little crumbs from sneaking their way up the pipe stem into my mouth. And it has to be organic cotton with no additives because they add stuff in it. And they also mix cotton with other fibers. You got to get like organic, sterile, medical grade cotton balls that are 100% cotton or something like that. Maybe 100% cotton string and then stuff it in the bottom there. But string, I think, would be too tight, and you won't be able to get a good draw. Just as a future note, that's what I'm going to try, because I've seen a lot of recipes that call for crumbly smokables. It doesn't make sense unless you have some kind of a barrier to block all those crumbs from sneaking up on you. All right. Is it still lit? No. Can I inhale it without coughing my head off? Let's see. Yeah, not an issue. Yeah, there's no issue with the irritation. It does burn a little hot once you do get started. It's good to have a longer pipe stem for sure. Yeah, it's going good now. Okay. Yeah, okay. It still smells a little perfumey. Now, some people say, I'm not smoking it right because it has to be blended with something else. And the same with what I call kinnikinnick, which is the silky dogwood bark. I've got silky dogwood bark in here from the arrow shoots that I had shaved, right? Now, what I do is I just take the shavings from the arrow shoots, and I'm going to wash them too, okay? So you can have a chance to be fussy again. Don't wash them, dude. Watch. And when I scrape the dogwood bark off the shoot, I don't remove the outer bark. Okay, which I've heard is a no-no. Got to remove the outer bark. Well, this is one way the outer bark comes off. Once it's dry, you just do this. You see those crumbs? Yes. Don't pay attention to how I'm looking. Look at the crumbs. That's all outer bark. And you're left with the woody part and the inner bark. All the outer bark looks like it just comes off like that. And then you stuff the what I call kinnikinnick, which is it's just pure organic, non-pesticide, hopefully grown silky dogwood bark. You stuff that in the pipe, pack it in tight, so you get a good ember going. Yeah, I like that much better than the mullein. So if I were to smoke mullein, it would be basically just for medicinal purposes, because I don't like it. I don't like the mullein by itself. Now, some people say, well, that's why you blend it, because it tastes nasty. Okay, fine. I'm not going to blend it with the kinnikinnick, because guess what? If I add something nasty to something good, it makes the good nasty. People are funny. Come on. I didn't put enough in there. The wind is also messing with it. Anyway, yeah, I do like it better, just the bark by itself. I'm gonna try this again, but I'm gonna burp these and try to see if I can cure the grape leaves. They do remind me more of tobacco, and maybe the curing process will eliminate the bitter taste. Maybe. I do notice a difference in the Mullein taste. Yes, I do. I had to, to be fair, I do notice it tastes a little more earthy now. Now, with cured tobacco, I'm going to wrap it up. With cured tobacco, it didn't agree with me. So I would buy the cheap cigars. After a while, I went full circle. When I first started smoking cigars, I bought the cheap ones because I didn't want to spend a whole lot of money on something I wouldn't like. And then after it was okay, it wasn't too bad. I think I liked it, I tried other more expensive cigars and all the fancy cured cigars that I could get my hands on that were within my price range. I think I have smoked $25 cigars, $8 cigars, $2 cigars, and everything in between, with most of the cigars that I've smoked in the $8 to $12 range. The curing process doesn't agree with me, and all these other weird tastes, some of them are really good, some of them are really bad. Didn't agree with me. I don't see any purpose to them. So I went back to smoking the cheap ones that I am assuming are aged and cured very little. And those agreed with me more than the expensive ones. Okay. I think the same might happen with this process, but I'm going to let it play out. I'm going to cure these different smokables in different ways. There's a whole other type of curing called fire curing from this other burping technique. And you can also cure smokables in stacks, that it's almost like composting because it heats up. You can see in some cases you can actually see or feel the heat coming off. I think that's what they were saying in one of the videos I was watching. There's actually some weird process that produces heat, and they have to restack the tobacco leaves periodically. Okay, I hope I'm right on that one. But I do know that there's a complicated curing process with tobacco, and for me, I would not buy the expensive cured cigars anymore. To me, it was just a waste. Anyway, you can fuss about that in the comment section and tell me I'm weird. I think I'm getting a leak up here at the mouthpiece. These are starting to separate, these sections. What am I going to do about that? I just have to check for leaks. And then, put some more of that hide glue in there, just kind of work it in. Let it dry. Should take care of it. I'm trying to get this kinnikinnick started. Silky dogwood bark. Some people say I shouldn't use the word kinnikinnick unless it's the proper mix. Okay, I won't use it. I'll just say silky dogwood bark from now on. All right, so hopefully that was informative, entertaining, and not too stupid. That's it.